Parivar, may Guruji bless you immensely with good health and happiness. Jai Guruji. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. So without further ado, I'm so sorry about yesterday, but the family really wanted to
Parivar, may
celebrate.
Guruji bless.
Yesterday, the family really wanted to celebrate, so I'm sorry I couldn't make it for yesterday. So without further ado, this is chapter 5 now we're on, and Kuwait Satsangs. The well never runs dry, and the seven seas never cease to flow. The reservoir of his blessings immerse us in his ever flowing and ever growing love. My mother and I returned to Delhi most enthusiastically, end of February, just in time for Shivratri at his temple. I was overjoyed to be back to what I considered home. The doctor who had stated that pollution in Delhi would not do Mum any good had clearly forbidden this trip. Her condition may worsen, he had warned. Hence, we too refrained from making any plans initially. I had, however, shared my longing to be in Delhi for Shivratri with Sanjeev, my brother, and it is he who reassured that Guruji would find a way to protect her and that we must talk to her physician once more. At my insistence, Mum consulted her specialist once again in UK. After examining her, he turned towards me and asked how eager she was to get the green signal from him. I smiled and told him that she was only too keen, and miraculously that settled it. Once in Delhi, I sipped my rich Indian cardamom and ginger tea with friends, family, and my Guru Parivar on a daily basis. Tea was poured into our cups as people flowed into my place and I into theirs for satsangs and otherwise at all hours. There was a heavy downpour of joy and jubilation in my heart as I celebrated life with all its quirks. I thanked Guruji for this trip many times over in my heart. I realized how deeply I felt for the Sangat in Delhi, most of my social friends having been converted to Sangat. On attending a satsang at Bambi Singh's place, post Shivratri, for the first time since my arrival, a Sangat approached me asking me if I would go to Kuwait to do a satsang. Even though I had seen him on many occasions earlier, we had never exchanged pleasantries. I took this as Guruji's message, as he did not seem to be ready to take a no for an answer. I promptly agreed and further exchanged numbers to coordinate the dates and to fine tune the travel arrangements. So, this was my first international satsang ever after Guruji's Mahasamadhi. I was learning to go with the flow in life. Without dilly-dallying, I flew to Kuwait a few weeks after a grand celebration of Shivratri at the temple. On arriving in Kuwait, I received a very heartwarming welcome. After settling down with Chai Prashad at Raj Uncle's and Gauri Auntie's residence, I began my first satsang amongst a handful of devotees. It was late night, and soon afterwards, I retired to my room that I shared with their daughter, Nitika, who was visiting her parents from Seattle, where regular satsangs were held too. The next evening was Raj Uncle's birthday celebration. I was asked to do my satsang in Guruji's Darbar, which is in their basement, with over 600 Indians that came together. During the days that followed, I spoke endlessly, sometimes 3 times a day, at every meal, including high tea. The gush of energy and enthusiasm in the Sangat from Delhi and the Sangat that resided in Kuwait was altogether uncontainable. Their hospitality was incredible, and their love for Guruji and his Sangat was immeasurable. As for Raj Uncle and Gauri Auntie, they are well and truly entrenched in Guruji's devotion, holding satsangs every Mondays without fail and connecting hosts of people and all their social friends to Sangat. They are doing Guruji's work in the true sense of the word, with utmost dedication and devotion, of course, but with utmost purity and integrity. The human body is incredibly expressive, and it talks to us in various ways, particularly to warn us that something is amiss. I was practically dragging my feet in Kuwait, unnaturally fatigued, with body ache to accompany it. I would hit the sack by 10:30 p.m., while the rest of the countless Sangat would celebrate in Raj Uncle's and Gauri Auntie's basement that had been converted completely into Guruji's darbar with music and dance. I would excuse myself as I couldn't imagine dancing in my state, even in my wildest dreams. I would sleep restfully, only to waken to a breakfast that was fit for a king, garnished with another satsang. We even squeezed in jet skiing. All this while, however, my instincts told me that some malfunction was taking place in my body, and Guruji was surely at work. Being in Kuwait and doing satsangs till kingdom come was not incidental. It was the very cure, the very remedy for the malady that had not yet been diagnosed. I returned to Delhi after a surreal time in Kuwait. I was overflowing with the love that I had been bathed in and the abundance of satsang. On arrival, I was compelled to visit my gynecologist by an insistent friend who instinctively knew that something was amiss with me. My neighbor, cum sister Rati, who is also Guruji's devotee, accompanied me, and the results confirmed surgery. My family and friends, who are practically all Sangat today, Meenu, Selina, Sumi Rati, Hapu Dimpiji, and Ravi, all accompanied me to the hospital at the crack of dawn for me to undergo a hysterectomy on 2nd of May. The following day, after being discharged and a successful laparoscopic procedure, I experienced excruciating pain in my abdominal area. After 2 days, I was back in hospital, and this time I was given intravenous antibiotics for 10 whole days. And I had regular ultrasounds during that time. Going by the reports, the gallbladder too had to be urgently removed. My brother Sanjeev observed the ultrasounds along with the doctor, who explained the malfunction to him in detail. Besides having stones, my bile duct was also blocked, and there was sludge in my liver. Lovely, I thought. Sounds like a nice cocktail of damaged body parts. My second thought was unmistakably, where are you, Guruji? Whenever we're going through the lowest ebb of our lives, we always reach out today to him who is our mother. Pehle hota tha Hai Ma, Gao Ma, and now it's Hai Gao Guruji, because our Guruji is our mother and father and our best friend rolled into one. So my second thought was unmistakably, where are you, Guruji? Are you still around for me, or have you abandoned me? We all feel like that at some point or another. Realistically, when the chips are down, when we are truly down and out, we call out to him because we just want that glimmer of sign that he's with us, just a hint of sign that Guruji, you are still with me and you remember me and you are taking care of the things that I can no longer take care of. My roller coaster faith was again dipping as I lay on the hospital bed looking for a hint of his love. At night, I whispered, Guruji, where are you? If you have abandoned me because of any unacceptable behavior of mine that I may have engaged in, knowingly or unknowingly, then please forgive this insane child of yours. Only you can make me hale and hearty with a spoonful of sanity. On Wednesday, the doctor announced surgery of the gallbladder and unblocking of the bile duct. 2 procedures would have to take place at one go. I was ready to run away. I wanted to sprint from the hospital to his temple and ask him again where on earth he was. Perhaps he had lost his way to the hospital, and that's why he hadn't, Guruji, come to visit me. Or perhaps, thought the drama queen in me, I was not worthy of his love because I may have displeased him in some way or another. I desperately needed a sign. Again, I asked, Guruji, where are you? And again, when we don't feel his presence, I feel it's because we have distanced ourselves. He never does. He's always with us. But we need to be in silent, let go of the distractions of the world, and really tune into his voice, his energy, his presence. Things could have been worse, I feel, always. When I'm down and out, I feel this is just 10% of what I was meant to go through. It's just literally a drop in the ocean. Things could have been much worse. So he handholds us. And he most definitely loves each one of us. So on Thursday morning, after having a shower, I sat on the hospital bed despondently, wallowing in self-pity, which I often did when life knocked me down. My CAT scan was scheduled on Friday evening, and in all likelihood, the surgery was scheduled for Saturday. The only decision left to be taken was my choice of 3 hospitals, as if I cared. I was almost benumbed by the thought when in my head I heard my most resigned voice stating, now whatever, let destiny take its course. On Thursday at 3 p.m., Rohit Kapoor, God bless his soul, he is no longer with us, but he was such a good friend of mine. And he was always there by my side, particularly when it would rain sadness in my life. He would be there to reassure me that Guruji is with me. So on Thursday at 3 p.m., Rohit Kapoor, a Guruji's very pure Sangat, jovially galloped into my room with a life-size tub of ice cream. His and my bonding was always over ice cream. After a quick greeting, he headed for the refrigerator to store it. A few minutes later, Sumi, another Sangat and a very dear friend of mine, marched in purposefully with a large box in her hand. I guessed it was a cake. How coincidental that I'm reading this, because even today I just received a cake from Sangat and I feel elated. Now it's the small things that give the greatest joys. So the gift of that cake today is what really added a smile to my face this morning. So I guessed it was a cake, but I gave it no more than a sweeping glance before I offered my most spirited visitors tea, just regular tea. Sorry, am I still there? I think there was a call. Okay, so I'll just read the last line again. I guessed it was a cake, but I gave it no more than a sweeping glance before I offered my most spirited visitors tea, just regular tea. Rohit exclaimed, you mean chai prashad? He asked enthusiastically, looking at both of us. Yes, of course, we will drink it. Not tea, but chai prashad, responded Sumi. Sure, I replied briefly, with not even an ounce of zest, that he and Sumi expressed with their radiant smiles. Sumi then carefully took out the chocolate cake that had Jai Guruji written across it. I looked at it perplexed, but kind of ignored the sign. I lowered my head and sighed as I was feeling very dejected at that point. Rohit, meanwhile, had been carrying Guruji's CDs to distribute in the hospital. Back then we had CDs. As he excitedly took them out of his bag, the doctor made his entry into my room. He took in the scene with a broad smile and asked what the cake was for. Rohit immediately started a satsang with utmost fervor and flavor, while Sumi very meticulously began slicing the cake for all of us to share. I was almost rejecting it when suddenly there was a whiff of Guruji's fragrance in the room. Unmistakable fragrance of flowers, roses, whatever you want to call it, but it was unmistakable. The doctor, after listening intently, confirmed having visited Guruji on many occasions, but he had not been to the temple after Guruji had discarded his physical body. The doctor warned me not to have the cake because tomorrow was the MRI, the scan. However, on him leaving the room, we shared the cake along with the scoop of ice cream each, and as I swallowed my small slice, there was a large chunk of belief that filled me. I had consumed a sizable piece of faith that brought my spirits back. Rohit was incessantly and very confidently conducting the satsang while Sumi shared more slices, and I was being consumed by the entire aura of my room. Sumi then shared her satsang about how the bakery asked her more than once what to write on the cake. She repeated to him again and again, "Please write, get well soon." But on being asked a third time, she nearly spoke to him with asperity when something took over, and she unknowingly uttered the words, "Jai Guruji." Back then, this is again years and years ago. So back then, Jai Guruji was not a greeting so much as it is today. So writing Jai Guruji was astonishing to all of us. Everything looked different now as hope permeated me. It is incredible how our energy shifts in a split second. We all feel heavy at some point or another. But a kind word or a kind gesture shifts the energy 360 degrees. And that's the magic of Guruji's wand. He really knows what we are going through, the heaviness, and he lightens it. He lightens our mood. So everything looked different now as hope permeated me. As the doctor was leaving, along with the junior doctor, he confirmed that the MRI was to take place the following evening at 6 p.m. Rohit at this point stated audibly and audaciously, "You may carry on with your tests, but Anita will not need surgery. Guruji is with her." Now, I'd say it exactly the way he said it back then. He said, "Tusi apne test karwande raho, aida kuch nahi nikalna." The way Guruji used to speak. And I looked at Rohit's face aghast. He spoke just as Guruji used to talk. He said, "Test west karde raho, aida kuch nahi nikalna." But of course, in the 2 weeks that I was in hospital, there were regular checkups and tests, and they all confirmed that I needed surgery. I had a blank look on my face as the doctor let out a nervous laughter, as if to say, "All you cuckoos, please get real." Meanwhile, there was a flood of phone calls from Guruji's Sangat reassuring me that all will be well and I will not require any surgery or procedure. It was almost like Guruji was speaking through the Sangat. And even Rohit spoke this way the way Guruji, in a very distinct Punjabi accent, a ray of hope. And this is all we need. In times of utter darkness, all we truly need is a ray of hope. When there's, like they say, instead of complaining about darkness, just light a candle to illuminate your heart, your soul, your mind. It just takes a very minor shift that impacts us. And we all have darkness that descends us from time to time, be it with our health, be it with our finances, be it with our relationships. There is struggle all around us today, particularly more than ever. And I just feel like Guruji used to say, Nanak dukhiya sab sansar, but aapka jo solution hai to this problem that you're facing today is only jap. Jap karo, jap ko increase karo. Mantra jap karo, satsang mein baitho, aapki vibration badalti hai. Seva karo, simran karo. And seva, simran, and satsang karo. So there was a flood of phone calls, and from he takes us, Guruji takes upon us all our issues, and when there is a ray of hope, the aura around us changes from gray to white, from dark to light, from sadness to joyfulness and hopefulness. Think positive. Guruji used to say, positive raya karo. Think positive, and positive changes will take place. You block your energy fields with your negative thoughts. Changa socha karo, said Guruji more than once when I sat with him with doom and gloom painted all over my face, and with my heart swimming in an ocean of despair. You worry needlessly, Anita, and because you do, it shows that you don't have absolute faith in me. That is true. When we worry, when we chinta karte hain, to hum chintan nahi karte. So therefore, it's important to have absolute faith and positive surrender, and knowing that he's taking care of each one of our issues, one by one. He has our back. He will never let us down. You worry needlessly, Anita, and because you do, it shows that you don't have absolute faith in me. Asli cheez un mangla. Ask now for the real deal. You haven't surrendered yet, because those who have don't question. But in your case, your questions have no end. His words ring true even today, after he has showered me torrentially with blessings that I'm quite evidently soaking in and enjoying. He has healed me from my skin cancer to my lungs and to my heart. Even when I was whole and in one piece, I still had no peace within me. Live in peace with others, but first make peace with yourself, I recalled Guruji saying. So it's important to accept ourselves, love ourselves, and be in complete peace and acceptance with ourselves and with our situation, and surrender the situation to him, and he takes over. There is no doubt. Today, this is all. There's a lot of birthday celebration and satsangs going on. So Jai Guruji, thank you for having me here. And I will now meet you tomorrow, same time.